And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready for game number 2 between Maryville and Manitoba. Getting tweaked on, but it looks like, yeah, right now they are hopping right into the picks and bans. We'll be pulling that up on your screen in just a second here. Get all the I's dotted and T's crossed, and Lee Sin's banned. Can't forget that integral step if you are the University of Manitoba.
Yep, Varys getting banned out by Maryville. Don't want to play against Varys, even though we did talk about his nerfs a little bit.
Right.
I didn't really talk about it much, but they really nerfed Varys on 3 different fronts, including Deathfire's Touch.
A Rumble ban.
Yeah, so Rumble's been played a lot in the top recently, especially in LCK.
Okay.
So Rumble is a very strong pick right now.
Okay.
So people really like to play him up there because it does provide you some AP in the top lane, allowing you to maybe run some more tankier supports in the bot lane, a little bit of a trade-off in that AP damage.
Sure.
And not to mention, Rumble has excellent engage in the form of that equalizer.
So I go.
I like the Shen ban coming out. Northpaw says, don't want to deal with that one again. Saskew being a little bit too much of a global nuisance, and so
Never look
we'll
back.
take that one off of the board. Jace banned as well, so some adaptations coming out from each team here. They're going to let some things they previously banned slide on through here. Namely, I think the biggest one is the Syndra. I believe they banned that one out last game.
Yeah, and the Graves.
Graves too. Walked right in.
But the
Prevailor.
Cassiopeia too.
Right, okay, beautiful. That's going to be some very quick trade arounds as we're having some chair difficulties here.
I don't know how to chair.
We got ganked.
Ganked by my foot. Kicking the chair.
The unseen chair is the deadliest. Lulu, not going to be surprised if Free Papa Chow wants to run that again. Was on the warpath with it. Chody Walrus as well. Rengar saying, ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. He played extremely well on that Rengar, and Rengar matches his playstyle very, very heavily. Aggressive, wants to get into the back line, wants to kill some people, wants to be in the middle of the enemy team, which is perfect for Free Papa Chow's Lulu.
Yep.
Because we did see him use that rapid growth several times.
Yeah,
to
really
do,
key ones on, especially Chody Walrus. It's like, okay, hop into the back line, have a good time. Oh yeah, clear out like 80% of their team, and you'll die, sure, but guess what? Prototype's on the back line.
Jeez.
He's getting a quadra kill to win the game.
Yeah.
We're probably in pretty good shape for this.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah,
Everything is fine.
We do this from time to time. We'll see what Manitoba can come back with. I really like the Prevailor is grabbing that Graves. Steering away from the Hecarim this time around. Nothing too surprising there. It was just a little too inconsistent, I would say.
Yep.
And not even inconsistent in the derogatory term that it's sometimes used as, but just in that he would look for engages and not be able to find them as well. So a more harass-heavy champion that can keep 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out, I think that's a pretty good pick for him.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad at all. We do see the Orianna hover and the Jhin hover. With Lucian up, maybe he's just opting to go for the Jhin because of how they want to play this game, but he played extremely well on that Lucian last game, so I'd be surprised if Prototype does opt to keep that Jhin instead of picking up the free Lucian.
I don't mind it. You want a response to some of the range
Okay.
that Ashe is going to have, and Jinx sort of fits that bill. It's at least a response.
Yeah. A little bit surprising considering how immobile Jinx is. Like, even in Season 6, we didn't see a whole lot of Jinx. She just really wasn't in the meta of your Lucians, of your Jhens, right? Or even your Ashes.
I think it's okay, though, assuming that based off of what we saw, Maryville had some strong split push coming out, but there was nothing so strong as when they were a 5-man group.
Yeah.
Right? Just the play style of how they butt heads with Manitoba there. Manitoba did better at stalling out the split push than they did the 5v5. I think if Maryville's caught onto that, if they recognize this situation, they've drafted a composition with the Orianna as a mid lane pick as well to really just give Jinx a lot of survivability, play around that pick.
Right.
And so this seems like it's sort of the cornerstone pick for this team here. They got a top lane. I would not be surprised to see some really defensive top picks coming out. Luckily for the side of Manitoba, the Shen is already banned out.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to see that again, but
I don't know. The one thing that we have seen is Maryville doesn't like to back down from a fight.
No, they do not.
With that Irelia being picked up for Northpaw in the top lane,
Yeah, no kidding.
It makes me wonder if Saskew's going to maybe go for something
No
more
problem. Just likely
aggressive.
a remake. I think we heard a little bit about this in the chat beforehand. I believe the issue is that Free Papa Chow does not own the champion that Saskew wants to play, and so they're going to be patching that up really quickly here. Have heard through the grapevine that it will be Renekton. Free Papa Chow, you're in Master. You should have Renekton by now.
Dude, I've been playing the game for like 4 years. I own every champion. Come on. Actually, I just got every champion. I finally picked up Camille after having her being released for like 3 months.
Well, we're back in, and that means they should blitz right on down the Renekton. A lovely pick into the Irelia for lane. Not sure how well it's going to gel with... we don't even get the full audio files. They're just like back and forth.
So I go.
All right.
See, you can hear the cutoff,
Yes,
right? It's jarring. It's dissonance.
It is. It's very
Never
sudden.
look back.
We didn't even get... See? Okay, come on.
Yeah, actually, did you notice they added in voice lines for when people like...
I love it.
Like,
I think it's a great change.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. Like extra voice lines. Who doesn't love that?
Well, they are going to do us the luxury of picking straight down the line in order. No need to trade this time around. Means that we will see the lock-ins coming out very quickly and get right on into our little bit of a delay here. Not too... Okay, but we know it's Lulu. Just pick the Lulu.
No.
Papa Chow, diva move there.
That's right. All the attention needs to be on me before we're allowed to start.
That's certainly how it was when that game bust out in the early phases. Papa Chow.
He went off in game 1. Holy
Just
moly.
really not afraid to take a lap or two. Gonna have a little bit more competition this time around, right?
Yeah.
You still have the Rengar who's very aggressive, but like Renekton is, if there's a teleport to the bot lane, it's likely not gonna go like, oh, I'm Shen, I'm helping. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm Renekton, I'm killing everything. Surprise! Big crocodile in your face.
Yeah.
Although I do like that pretty much if we do see top lane TPs, it's gonna be Havoc. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Irelia and Renekton coming
yeah.
down to any other lane is just gonna... I hope we get that, because that'll just be blood in the water.
That's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be great because we saw a lot of really good TPs from both teams coming out in that last game, and so seeing it again on two brawl-heavy champions that like
Right.
want to be there and they want to fight you,
Sure.
like, yeah, that's gonna be like you said, absolute havoc. And I think that for me is going to be the matchup to watch. That would be the emerging storyline for me if I was the side of Manitoba. Like, how does this Irelia develop, right? Because really, Irelia is the wild card in this team composition. Because like Graves, very consistent. We see that all the time. Victor, we're seeing that more often now. Still very strong. Ash Karma, staples in
Right.
season 7 so far, right? Like Renekton has kind of emerged in these last 2 or 3 patches as
Right.
being like a power pick.
Been back around.
Right, exactly. So, like, I'm really torn between like saying what is the storyline that Maryville wants to follow between that Jinx and Renekton, but the way that we saw a prototype play on the Jinx, I think that's going to be
Right.
the one to watch.
Right. With his Lucian play, it was certainly aggressive enough. Jinx a little bit more limited in her kit due to some immobility. But nothing, I believe, too seriously game-changing about this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the last 2 minutes of this delay tick out, there are some announcements we would love to make for you guys. The first off the bat is that we, the CSL, are hiring a social media manager. If that sounds like you, if you can manage yourself and possibly social media, likely and preferably at the same time, please drop us a line, as Bob Ross would say. Head over to cstarleague.com for more information. Please put in your resume. We do look through them. We do read them all. You stand a very good chance if you are qualified for getting this position. The second is the Midwest Campus Clash. $25,000 on the line, April 8th at Columbia College in Missouri. Registration for the qualifier has unfortunately closed. We're actually running right on through that. Qualifier began on March 5th. I think we're in the round of 32 or 16 now.
16.
We're running right through it. So these teams are heating up. That's going to be a very fun event to watch. You can type !Clash into Twitch chat for more info. Brian, why don't you tell us about our wonderful sponsors?
Yeah, so we have 3 wonderful sponsors that really, really help us out in the CSL. You saw them down in the bottom left-hand corner during that game 1. The first one is Band Gaming. We've seen a couple of commercials for them. Band is a social app and the primary social app of the CSL with many features such as creating groups, boards, calendar functions, polls, chat, and as of recently, call functionality. Band is the premier social experience for you and your fellow gamers alike. Please find out more at band.us/home or find them in the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Next, we have Twitch. As always, CSL has nothing but gratitude towards the largest streaming platform in gaming to help support the collegiate esports and professional esports. They help put on events from PAX East and West and many more events. The CSL wouldn't be what it is today without the help and support from them. So be on the lookout for cool opportunities to get involved with Twitch in the near future, and be sure to show them some love for their support on twitter.com/twitch and facebook.com/twitch.
Lastly, we want to give a shout out to Asus. Got to welcome them to the CSL family for the 2016 and 17 season. You know Asus. They are the providers of literally everything esports all over the map there, and so a lot of love for them. You're going to hear a quick commercial from the Midwest Campus Clash, and then we'll be into game number 2 between Maryville and Manitoba. And we're back into game for game number 2.
That's right. We are in game number 2 between the University of Maryville and the University of Manitoba. On blue side, we have the University of Manitoba, North Paw on that Irelia in the top lane. The Prevailer on that Graves in the jungler. Art Naxella, which we're just going to call Artie for this game, playing that Victor in the mid lane. Iggy Pop playing that Ashe in the ADC role, and Navin on that Karma in the support. Kyle, take us away.
Yeah, over on the side of Maryville, we got Saskew in the top lane, the aggressive Renekton coming at your face. Chody, Walrus, Rengar, no stranger to that. CKG, otherwise known as Cat God, coming out in the mid lane for Maryville. Prototype and Free Papa Chow running out that AD and support as the powerhouse motorcycle duo.
I think we just created a meme that we're just going to use.
Oh boy, look at this. They're on the North Paw.
North Paw's going to be fine. He'll use that E to get a quick stun out, get a little bit of escape. So for those of you that aren't super familiar with the Irelia matchup, typically what you see is you can see Irelia start with that E or the W. The E allows her to create a slow or a stun depending on if she has more or less health than the person she's using on. Less health, it's a stun. More health, it's a slow.
Got it.
Her W allows her to get passive heal per hit based on level, and then on its active, it deals true damage every hit.
Love it.
Which is why you kind of build that Blade of the Ruin King type thing, because you can just sit there and whack on people and deal true damage with it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see her with her Q, which is that dash reset. So that's kind of the fun thing about watching Irelia play is she can shred through tanks once she gets going a little bit. Saskew waiting for her.
Yeah, he's just being a little bit of a bully. No surprise from Renekton as a champion. Loves to just get in your face and stay there. So really like that he's denying likely a little bit of experience just by this. He can kind of float in and out of that experience range. Northpaw will have to go all the way back and around or take half health in damage. And so that's actually pretty brutal. He's going to rush to this level 2, and that's not what you want if you are Northpaw. Blast coning to get over the side.
Yeah, he is saving a little bit of time by using that blast cone. He didn't use his health pot yet either, but he does get aggressed on at level 1.
Yeah, that's the level 2. Going to force his flash out.
Oh.
Saskew just a little too trigger happy on that one. Didn't have the follow-up damage, but has forced him back already, and that's not the start you want as the Manitoba top laner.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like I said, it does take some time to ramp up, right? She's not a damage threat at the beginning of the game. She starts to come in towards more of that mid and late game as doing a lot of damage unless she gets rolling. And so Saskew has the right idea. If they're going to play that aggressive Irelia, play that Renekton and aggress on them early when you have a lot more damage than she does.
Right. Absolutely. That's the right playstyle. Saskew's got all of his ducks in a row for that one. Still just level 1 from Northpaw. And we'll just hit the 2 and have a little bit of time to catch your breath as the opposing top laner is out of lane, gone, taking that back. But I'll tell you that longsword's not going to make anything easier.
No, it's not. Picking up that longsword right away at the beginning, after getting that 12 CS, is going to be huge, right?
It's pretty unkind, yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like, ooh, free
Papa Chow going to get snared up here. Iggy Pop not in a position thanks to the minion wave being pretty well primed, but look at this. They may have caught Prevailer. That's the exhaust out. He's going to dash. He's going to flash, and he may actually been the face his team needed for dealing the damage back, but Papa Chow out of that one. Still running that heal exhaust old switcheroo.
Yeah, I mean, he still has it up. He just used his last biscuit, so he is going to be able to heal about 150 health now. We do see Northpaw taking a fair bit of damage, but Saskew keeps having to fight him inside of the minions of Northpaw.
Right.
So that is kind of the boost that Irelia needs to kind of help survive a little bit right now.
Right.
Those of you that aren't familiar with Renekton's mechanics, he does have a rage bar, and when he uses his Q, he gets a percentage of lifesteal off of minions and off of champions, and so it makes his dual ability inside of minions very, very strong. Here comes a gank onto Artie.
I feel like we've seen this before from Papa Chow. He's really just priming it. It didn't look like CKG wanted to get in onto that one. So just a little bit of a time killer, as we did have Prototype already gone on back. Papa Chow said, well, I got things to do, places to be, people to see, RDs to gank.
Yeah, and he came in and made his presence known. I think what he's doing is just to provide some harass and to get a really deep ward out. So if you look at the mini map right here, he's got a very big ward there, because that's a very high traffic area early on in the game for the jungler.
Yeah, you're pretty much going to catch Graves every single time with that one.
Right, exactly. So if Graves moves through there in the next 3 minutes, Maryville is going to have knowledge of that, and that's exactly what you want if you're Chody Walrus, because he is very, very good at doing those counter ganks. But we do see Prevailer up in the top lane, maybe trying to make something happen against Saskew. Saskew is going to start pushing here because the minion wave is in favor of Northpaw.
Yeah, that's the slice in. He's going to try to get it. Does roll, but look at this. Chody Walrus is there. Can he find the turnaround? They're going to take it, but it's first blood by a hair over to the side of Manitoba. Walrus is trying to get this one onto Prevailer. Stands a damn good chance as the Bola connects, and doubling down. Double kill comes through. Favor University of Maryville. Chody Walrus, some insane jungle play to get that one.
Yeah, and the important thing to note is that the Prevailer did get the first blood on that, which is super, super huge. Saskew didn't get it, and Northpaw didn't get it, but it's just the issue of they're just not being, like, Irelia needs that early.
Sure.
And she didn't get it.
No,
and that is not ideal, because now Saskew has those two early assists. That's basically 300 gold, because it is because it was just 2 people on those kills.
Right.
And so that's really just kind of the factor here, right?
Sure. No, I mean, it makes perfect sense in that regard. We are seeing a bit of a tighter game than we did right off the bat last time. I like the Irelia pick, actually, into the Renekton. So for the side of Northpaw, had a rougher level 1, had a really rough level 1, actually, but is only a few minions behind here, and the assist, sure, is going to provide just a splash more gold. Pulling up the gold sheet here, that's going to look like 2,200 for the side of Renekton, and only 18 actually for the side of Northpaw. So pretty big differences, but either way, it's nothing irrevocable at this point.
Yeah, and that actually is really important. We did just see Chody Walrus take away the blue buff of the second blue buff from Graves. So that's actually really big. Denying the second blue buff away from Victor or away from Graves is huge.
Yeah, both of them really can use it. Neither of them are going to like to share that. And look at this. Chody Walrus is there. Northpaw, things have quickly gone south for him, and he is out of that one. Top lane tower, the next focus for Maryville here.
Yeah, and my guess is that they will get first tower gold off of this. They will have minion waves in their favor very, very easily. And that is going to be a loss of first tower if you are Manitoba. But there is going to be a huge gank here in the bot lane. Free Papa Chow getting caught out.
Prevailer is in, ready to get into this one. First tower's gone down in the top lane. Meanwhile, Papa Chow getting the damage, but the flash and the chompers from Prototype mean you cannot get in, not passing through this one. And now Papa Chow playing a dangerous game, looking like he kind of wanted to walk back into that one.
Yeah, I think that is That's very like free Papa Chow though, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
he's got like 100 health. He's like, no, I can dance. I'll dance on the outside of this fight. No worries.
Who was it? Civ HD that used to say anything above 1 health is is engaged potential.
Yes. The good old days.
The good old days. Whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know, but I think he lives on as a meme in my.
Oh yeah, sure.
He's a meme in my dreams.
It's one of the things about League of Legends and the scene is that so many just integral people have just kind of faded into the background now. People
Yeah.
you just wouldn't even think about.
I think the biggest meme
Sad.
for
It's
me.
rip.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll always have Prawley though.
Okay, yeah.
Like Prawley will always be my favorite. Like his first game in the LCS, he freaking played Ziggs.
Yeah.
And people are like, "What? Ziggs?" And Prawley's just like sitting there with that derpy little smile.
Yep.
And then he like retires from pro play, becomes a coach.
Oh, nice arrow
Wow.
catching on to CKG. They're converging, but Papa Chow is there. No ultimate available as they're only level 5, but look at that. Jinx Rocket coming in to turn some back around. Northpaw with a good flash will find CKG. Will probably help stall up Chody Walrus long enough here, but no, he is out. And so nice aggression coming out from the side of Manitoba. Nets him a kill.
Yeah, that was very good. Awesome crystal arrow coming out from Iggy Pop to get a catch there, and then good follow up by the Irelia rotation, and also the Graves coming in for the assist there. Big shout out to Free Papa Chow for at least being there to try to provide some support. He rotated long before Navin did from the side of Manitoba, so he was there to able to at least keep Oriana alive and not make that a worse trade.
Sure. Yeah, I think the peel and support from Papa Chow, especially without an ultimate there as sort of the failsafe, really has been quite remarkable throughout these last 2 games. Usually with Lulu players, you find they tend to sit on a sort of a lane presence, peel capability, and aggression. You can pick 2. He's got all 3 of these things going on for him right now. Chody Walrus, though, trying to help find Northpaw. Bola doesn't land, but a good flash, slice, and dice means that Saskew will secure the next kill for his homie in the jungle. Chody Walrus picking up the 3rd. And this is one Walrus that is getting fed indeed.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we saw last game as well, as we saw Chody Walrus start to go off. Obviously not as much as Prototype's Lucian, but we really did see him start to go off, and I think this is kind of like what we were talking about in the pick a ban phase, right? Like the emerging storyline for the 2 teams are really going to be that Irelia and Renekton. Like, what is the storyline with that? And I think Chody Walrus' hang-on Prototype might be getting caught out
Yeah,
here.
that's not what you want. Nice flash, but the arrow actually does connect just on the edge of that hitbox. Little teleport scare coming out from Saskew does mean that Iggy Pop and Naven will just want to pop, skip, and jump back out of that one. Don't want to get too far involved when a big crocodile is on the line. And both teams posturing, looking like they don't actually know what this next move is.
Yeah, and I think that is a little bit indicative of what we saw in Game 1 coming out from Maryville. Starting around the 15-minute mark, they did kind of start to stall out a little bit, but that's also...
Made like a fish and floundered.
Yeah. But that...
Ooh, Saskew's coming close, but does actually get out. Nice flash, but Iggy Pop catching on the Bola with the red buff means that is one more kill for Mr. Walrus. And this should be an easy transition, either first tower or dragon, depends on whatever they want to prioritize.
Yeah, and that actually falls right in
Second
line
tower.
to like what exactly I was about to say. Of like once they get a pick though, that's when Maryville really starts to make things happen.
Absolutely. CKG looking for the 1v1 onto Artie and does enough damage to at least dissuade any pressure toward that dragon pit. Should mean Mr. Walrus takes this one out and away. No problem. Prototype keeping a nice wave pressure in the bot lane too, just to ensure a smooth transition whenever they do decide to run things on down, should that be the option.
Yeah. And that's the thing for me, is that Maryville, after they got that pick, they were able to rotate, get that Cloud Drake to help with their rotations, which is something that we...
CKG's going in off the bat, knows he can do it. The heal comes through from Artie and should keep him alive, but now they're both on the other side of this one. We'll see if they respectfully get away or if CKG wants to chase it down. Chody Walrus is there. The Jinx Rocket, the flash out. Papa Chow flashes in and takes it. Says, no. Kill secured. That's what the S stands for. Kill secured.
Hey, listen, we're watching Free Papa Chow. This guy got 3 kills, I think, by the mid game. He was 90% kill participation when they had 10 kills, and he had 2.
Really just helped run away with it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think Free Papa Chow always a big win condition for the side of Maryville. He's not the challenger player on their team, but he is one of the master players.
Right.
So
I believe actually the only player not in challenger or master on the side of Maryville is Prototype, and you wouldn't guess it through his play.
yeah.
CKG, though, nice ult from Prevailer to take that one through. And I think we've seen this 2v1 a couple times here so far, right? Saskia and Walrus just right in Northpaw's face. We'll see, actually, if they want to go through with this one. I don't think Northpaw really understood what he was getting himself into. Saskia takes that one out, and we'll chalk that up to a fluke. Happens to the best of us.
Me every time I play League of Legends. It's
Absolutely. We'll see who's got the 3v3. The health bars are lower on the side of Maryville, and Artie wants the Blood Prevailer there as well. Saskia pops the ult and goes back in, but it's a diversion, and he's got his teammates out. Sneaky, sneaky crocodile.
Jeez.
That was clever play.
Saskia with the meta plays,
That was very smart. I'm thoroughly impressed if he meant to do that, which I'm going to choose to believe he did.
I like to think he did. We've seen some really good stuff out of him,
So
so
clever.
like, I actually didn't know you could slice and dice over that wall.
Look left. Oh, right. Sorry.
I'm going in. No, I'm not.
Sigmund and Freud would be proud.
Yeah, that's true. The
There's a
old
Sigmund and
switcheroo.
Roy. Sigmund Freud is why I was thinking that. Right? No, not the
Yeah.
psychologist.
Yeah, that's
Although that's probably some mind games. He could give a pat on the back.
That's right. There's some mind games.
Yeah, Sigmund and Roy. Either way.
It's fine. It's fine. Oh wait, I just realized we have had Shadow this entire time.
Oops.
Oh, good kill though
Yep.
by Cat God. As I was talking about chat. Oh,
And nice turnaround. It's a double around on either side of the map. Saskia is coming in. Iggy Pop with the Summoner Heal and the Crystalline Arrow, but will it be enough? Saskia says, I could finish this, but I'd rather escape with my life. Tries to get out of this one. Has Flash in just a couple seconds here, but dashes back into his own death. It's Chody Walrus trying to get that one in, and it will lay down the framework for 1, possibly 2. Yes, can it be 3? No. Just the 2, and all in all, it's actually a 3-for-2 favor to Manitoba.
Yeah, I'm actually.
It's not what you expect.
Yeah, not what I expected, but at the same time, Irelia's build's not what I expected either.
Yeah, oh boy, Prevailer on the way out of this one, tries to toss out the fadeaway ult, and will prime some good damage for Artie to make sure CKG can't run anything through. Nice rocket prototype from downtown! That is it. Takes it right out through there, and gosh, that's frustrating.
That is super annoying.
I was wondering why Papa Chow was following so deeply, and I was like, oh, hang on, here comes the big rocket.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Is like you could see the gears start to turn in Prevailer's head, right?
Yeah.
Like we all know that Artie was like, "Hey, there's a rocket coming straight towards you," and he like tried to move out of the way, but it just like wasn't
Can't
soon
close
enough.
store in time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. Well, not to be outdone, the side of Manitoba is posturing around here. We've seen some good downtown ults from both teams here. A little bit more effective, I'd say, from Iggy Pop up until that kill came through for Prototype. And so, Northpaw, not where you want to be. Looks like they're just priming this one, actually. If they can steer away from the fight, they've got the Jinx split push running, the 1-3-1, but that's going to be one dead Orianna, I'm almost certain. Yeah, it does fall out to Artie taking the credit for that one, and Manitoba seem to have some more answers for this split push play.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that boils down to the fact that Prototype is on that Jinx. Jinx is not really able to do a lot of things very safely by herself.
No.
Like, she can fight you once she gets going, but she's not going yet. Like, she hasn't finished her IE. She's very close to that.
Yeah, really good over the wall play here.
Yeah.
That's some ultimates coming through. Actually, the side of Maryville wants to get in. Northpaw's the first target, but the heals and shields are there. The peel as well. Rampage as Papa Chow goes down, but it is the trade away shutdown coming out for Jinx. Saskia, meanwhile, has been priming this, and a really, really good play to get the double kill coming in. Nevin is next and will fall almost certainly the ace as things fall apart for Manitoba in what looked like a pretty decent position at first.
Yeah, I think the problem was that they tried to stay and fight too long. They got that first kill, and then they thought they could go for more because the health bars were
Only
lower.
the support. They traded Northpaw away for Papa Chow, and I know Northpaw's a big old threat here, but that's still unequal any way you want to cut it.
Yeah, that is not that's not ideal, right? Like we talk about what the ideal kills are, and that, like, okay, you got Papa Chow, but you lost Northpaw, right? Northpaw has been kind of the staple of your damage so far.
Has 5 of your team's 8 kills
Yeah.
is absolutely essential, and while yes, a great backline threat, play the front line first. Chip away, kill that Renekton, group up on him, and, use some of your tools at disposal. Peel on the Rengar. Chody Walrus, while really big damage threat, doesn't have that much tank just yet, right?
Right.
And so there are ways to play that fight, and Manitoba had a little bit of a rough spot around the edges. The ace, sure not what they wanted. It wasn't theirs to engage off the bat anyway, but now Chody Walrus is looking for round 2, and Prevailer quite low. That's the first kill of the fight that may be short-lived. Naven not going to be the second one just yet. Prototype finds it finally with a rocket, but it was quite the chase for him. Northpaw nowhere to be found, and we're not going to see a fight break out in earnest. Just a couple clean double picks should lead right into an Infernal Drake for the side of Maryville.
Yeah, and I think something that I would like to bring up is that while Irelia does have like 5 of her team kills, she was behind by about 60 CS before she started farming in that top lane. She only had 85 CS about a minute and a half ago.
Right.
Like, you have 5 kills but 85 CS compared to Renekton's about 140 CS and 4 kills.
The gold differential there is about 2,500 between them, so
yeah,
nothing to sneeze at. And look at this, the side of Maryville squeezing out the Rift Herald right before it would otherwise say goodnight.
Yeah, we saw them do this at the end of last game too. They're not big fans of leaving neutral objectives on the map before they go down.
Looks like the side of Manitoba was well aware, and they're actually going to be ready to pull off with an engaged. Saskew cannot get out of this one alive. You've got to be joking. What a shockwave, too, coming out. They're not done. Chody Walrus is in. That's the buff up, but can he survive much longer? Finds the second one, and that could be long enough for his team to stall out onto Northpaw as well. Only the bot lane of Iggy Pop and Naven now far, far from home as they're getting double killed out. It's actually going to be Papa Chow getting the double kill. That's a wild turn of events, and just like that, the side of Maryville has given themselves a big opening here.
Yeah, honestly, Maryville has been playing extremely well, very, very cleanly. I don't know how Saskew got out of that alive. That's just a matter of him being so far ahead.
I know, that's the second time he's done that, right? Taking a situation in which he should have died and was like, later, skaters. Gators, later, of course, Gators.
You missed their chance.
I was there. I just, my God.
If you guys can see Kyle right now, he is so downtrodden.
Dejected.
He's
that
like...
one hurts. Slow, steady, down the plate. Mighty Casey strikes out on that one. It's okay. Happens to the best of us, except for Saskew. Doesn't happen to him, apparently.
Yeah, apparently not, because things that should not happen do in fact happen, and I really don't know how much to say about that, really.
Well, he has died 2 times, so we at least can talk about that.
Right, I mean, he's died 2 times, but he's been a part of 15 kills.
Yeah, definitely has a little bit of an advantage in the KDA department. Not going to be present as his team starts the posture around this Baron, though. The teleport advantage does mean he likely can set up a very nice split push here just to keep things moving, just to be that thorn in the side of Manitoba. I don't actually think they even need him if the fight were to break out. He's a good frontline option, but with the wild growth, or is it rapid growth?
Rapid growth.
Rapid growth. 2 supports with, yeah. A little bit of a mix-up. With the Rengar Lulu R combo, that certainly seems to be a big enough deterring threat. Meanwhile, CKG just trying to hold this off. They know it's happening from Manitoba, but can they stop it is the important question. And a group up means at least 1 will be found by the Shockwave, 2 found by the Rengar, and now Artie is on the run for his life. Will not keep it. Double down, and all the while Saskew diving Northpaw under tower. Northpaw running from the tower. That's not where you want to go. The only place you're going is to the grave as the team of Maryville finishes off this Baron. No contest. That will be at least an inhibitor taken out by Saskew as well once those Baron empowered minions really come through for him. And they're already priming the next wave in the mid there.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those things where I kind of have to look at champion select and ask, like, what kind of went wrong here, right?
Sure.
Like,
so we could say not the Aurelia pick.
Yeah, the Irelia pick was a gamble that didn't pay off.
And compared to last game, it wasn't the Graves wasn't the worst draft either.
Right.
Actually came through. It was clever enough drafting from the side from Manitoba. I think the biggest problem was their mid lane and their support picks.
Yeah, I think my opinion is that there's better mid laners out there right now instead of Victor.
Sure.
Like, Cassiopeia was available.
Right.
Like, you could have picked Cass, or like if you wanted to play an aggressive top laner, you didn't have to pick Irelia. Like,
Right.
Renekton has been in flavor. Like, as of the end of 7-4, we've seen a lot of Renekton in the LCK. So I think if you're really gonna redo those picks, I think Karma is fine, Ashe is fine, because we did see Iggy Pop land those crystal arrows good. We saw some good, at least, survivability come out of Navin on that Karma compared to game 1. He didn't get killed at like level 1 again, things like that. Like, it was good adjustment in terms of play style to make that Karma work, but the Victor and the Irelia just didn't feel like they were cutting it, especially since that Rengar was left open.
Oh man, Prototype caught out by a really good Crystal Arrow and will be shut down. The Lulu ult not going to do enough to keep things alive there, but can they rotate back to this top side in time? And meanwhile, they do have to police the minions in the bot lane. Do not forget about that. The tower is down up top. The engage looks to be on. Even without the AD, they want to go. Saskia is in onto this one. Naven, the first target, flashes out to safety. Prevailer doing some really good damage, but not the front line that he wants to be. Got to be careful managing that health bar all the while. Keep an eye on that top lane. It is the inhibitor going down. That will be 2, likely 3 if they're going to rotate back. Trying to get this next tower. Keep in mind, they do not have prototypes. So the side of Manitoba can find the engage here if they want to. And under a tower is the best place to do it. Back toward the Baron minions, not so much. And Prevailer gets absolutely mauled by the damage from Maryville there. Has to back off, have to be careful. It's so tense, but it looks like it's just every little which way being whittled down from Manitoba as Maryville is out for blood. Renekton blocking off the fountain path. That will mean Naven dies next. CKG in there helping the Chody Walrus kill for Iggy Pop to come through. And now Prevailer and Artie are chased out of their own base as Maryville goes for kills over the game. Wow. They're going to kill Prevailer. He just stops. He knows he's dead.
Yeah, I mean,
oh man,
that's brutal. That's a really rough game from just from the side of Manitoba. It took Maryville a little bit longer to ramp up, but they looked pretty dominant that entire game, and that will be game number 2 going over to the side of Maryville University, going 2-0 over Manitoba. Maryville will advance to that game number 2, and they will be playing against the winner of the Kansas University and Washington St. Louis game.
Okay,
which
sure.
will be, I believe, in the next day or 2.
Yeah, should be coming through this weekend, actually. I don't think we're going to have a broadcast for that one.
Yeah.
We can check our...
Let's pull up the schedule, but I think you're right. We won't have the broadcast for it, but that will be played this weekend.
Okay, absolutely. So, should have a pretty good idea of who Maryville is going to square off with next. As we are now down to... They're on to the round of 4. This is... Semifinals? Quarterfinals? Semifinals, right? Semis?
Yes, semis.
They're in the semis for this one, so Maryville.
Yeah, that's spicy.
Yeah, they're in really good shape as the competition's slimming down, right? Because they've still got that one looming threat. The first seed to their second seed. The Robert Morris University Eagles, I believe.
Yes, it is the Eagles. Yep.
It's the Eagles, so that's going to be seeing if they can fly high over that one in just a little bit of time. And so they do have a couple more hurdles to clear first if we are going to get that emerging storyline. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Definitely.
I am Kyle Corvus Crow. I've been joined by Brian Starkey here on the desk. Brain Starkey, if you prefer.
If you want to find me on Twitter, I am Brain Starkey. It spells exactly like it sounds. Obviously, I'm not as easy as @Corvus Kovacs. Yours is much better. Mine's
it's phonetic.
Yeah, mine's just merely a butchering of my actual name that people make fun of me for.
I still think whomever called you Broom Staircase.
That was the first original
Are you
after
kidding
I
me?
told them the
Right.
story. I was like, Broom Staircase.
Gotta love it.
Son of a, come on.
Well, we are winding down this game only to make room for a little bit more. If you'll peep that schedule, we got some fun coming in between Simon Fraser and
It is going to be
ADV.
ADV Tech. I would love to say I know who they are, but unfortunately...
Never heard of that school before, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I have to say that's one of the best things about ULOL and CSL is that we
Right.
get a bunch of colleges that we've never heard of. They come in and compete with people like Robert Morris and Maryville and like UBC.
No, I love that. And so even Robert Morris, right, as a school, it's not somebody that you're going to, like, when you talk about football giants with just like billions of dollars to throw behind there,
Right.
Robert Morris is not that school.
They're not.
And so it's really fun to see these universities that you don't know too much about coming out of nowhere, because just because they don't have that football money doesn't mean they don't have like a
The
really
esports
stacked,
money.
right, a really stacked league team. I don't think anybody has much esports money these days unless you're like running LCS. But
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
either way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you've had as much fun as we have. If you'd like to reach out to us on Twitter, you can find us at Corvus Kovacs and at Brain Starkey. There's also CSL LOL if you have any critiques for the higher ups there. We're going to run some commercials before we get out of here, like you guys haven't seen them enough, right? Well, I hope you've had a great night. Catch in for the later games this weekend as well as this evening, and we'll see you next time.
Ben, Sam, and Ken are on separate journeys to defeat the menacing Vile Dragon. But let's just say luck isn't on their side. If only there was a way for them to find each other and band together. Well, that's why there's Band. It's a mobile app that allows people to come together using common interests. With Band, you can find fellow gamers, chat, schedule gaming sessions, and conduct polls. Stage epic battles with friends while sharing videos and photos along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.